We want the division of India into Hindustan and Pakistan because that is the only practical solution.
Turmoil is not new to Pakistan, whether it is political or economic. And this time, both are knocking on its door.
जब से ये दो खानदान आए हैं, हिंदुस्तान भी आगे निकल गया, बांग्लादेश हमारे से आगे निकल गया.
The International Monetary Fund has approved an agreement to revive a massive loan program amid the recent incessant rainfall and devastating floods.
China will invest $3.5 billion in Karachi, $3.5 billion. Pakistan, it seems, has embraced the Chinese debt trap.
Skyrocketing inflation, a crumbling economy, and a reported collective loot. This seems to be the story of Pakistan at present.
Hi everybody, Pakistan has been facing a terrible economic crisis since the past 2 years. The Russia-Ukraine war has sent oil prices over the roof, food inflation in Pakistan has already crossed 15%, and after Imran Khan got shot, the nation saw multiple protests all across the country. And what is even more astounding to know is that when India and Pakistan got independence in 1947, Pakistan literally had all the advantages in the world as compared to India. They did not have the extraordinary diversity of India to deal with. They had a far smaller portion of land to govern, had some of the most fertile lands in the world, and even had more per capita GDP than India. But even then, while India has gone on to become a $3 trillion economy, Pakistan has been struggling with the same economic, political, and terrorism-based problems since the past 75 years. So the question is, what is so terribly wrong about Pakistan's political model that they've been in turmoil since 75 years? Number 2, apart from the Chinese debt trap, what are the most critical problems in Pakistan that is stunting the growth of its economy? And most importantly, as citizens of India, what are the lessons that we need to learn from the mistakes and downfall of Pakistan? Because trust me, even we Indians are making very similar mistakes to that of Pakistan. And by the way, if you're a Pakistani citizen, this is what your mainstream media doesn't tell you. So if this makes sense to you, please share this video with as many people as possible. This video is brought to you by Coding Invaders, but more on this at the end of the video. Chalo, let's start from the basics. You see guys, India and Pakistan both got independence in the same year. But even then, India has had a democracy for 75 years with one emergency in between. But in Pakistan, there have been 23 prime ministers since 1947 and none of them have completed their full term. The question is why? Well, firstly, time and again, the military has ousted the Prime Minister and took control of the country. In fact, more than 1/3 of its years of independence, Pakistan has been ruled by its military rather than the government. So the bigger question over here is, why does this happen so often in Pakistan and what is the fundamental problem with their government model? Well, this is because of something called the doctrine of necessity. In simple words, it's a principle in governance that gives extra constitutional powers to certain people to do unlawful things in a lawful manner. Basically, dictatorship powers. This came into existence because in 1954, the Chief Justice of Pakistan's Supreme Court named Muhammad Munir, he reversed the decision of the Sindh High Court and in a way gave the power to the Governor General of Pakistan. And this dissolved the first Constituent Assembly of Pakistan after their independence. And guess what? After that, the Pakistani army chiefs have used this doctrine of necessity again and again to justify their military takeover from the democratically elected government. So in 1958, General Ayub Khan did it, then in 1977, General Zia-ul-Haq did it, and then in 1999, General Pervez Musharraf did it. So you see, every 20 odd years, the doctrine of necessity was being used to overthrow the government. And because of this extreme instability and unprecedented power of the army, 3 things happened that shaked the foundations of Pakistan's development. Number 1, the important government and military officers were more concerned about protecting their power from each other and making money for themselves rather than taking long-term risks to grow the economy. As a result, corruption and crony capitalism have grown stronger and stronger in Pakistan. For example, this is Asim Salim Bajwa. He is a retired Pakistani 3-star general who served as the chairman of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Authority from November 2019 to August 2021. He was also Imran Khan's special assistant on information and broadcasting when Imran Khan was the Prime Minister of Pakistan. And in June 2020, he signed an official declaration form disclosing all of his assets and liabilities as special assistant to Prime Minister Imran Khan. And in this form, Bajwa declared an investment of only 3.1 million rupees, and that too in his wife's name. Apart from this, he declared no immovable property held outside of Pakistan and no business capital outside of Pakistan. But as it turns out, Salim Bajwa actually owns 175 franchises of Papa John's Pizza, that too in the United States. He started this business in 2004, which is coincidentally the same year when he was appointed as a lieutenant colonel under Pervez Musharraf, who was the dictator of Pakistan during that time. And starting with one franchise, he expanded to 3, then opened 20 more in 2006 and 7, and another 28 in 2008. And according to the report by Fact Focus, this 5-year investment cost alone would amount to almost $52.2 million. This is a level of corruption, that too from a lieutenant colonel and assistant to the Prime Minister. And by the way, while he was assistant to Imran Khan was appealing to the rich Pakistanis to invest in Pakistan. Now you tell me, if you're a rich Pakistani businessman and you see your own military and government officials engage in corruption and investing outside of Pakistan, why would you invest in Pakistani market? Similarly, the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has been sentenced to 10 years in prison and has been fined $10.6 million for his unaccounted fortune in the form of offshore companies. And secondly, because of this extremely unstable government and no Prime Minister having completed the term, none of the parties were fully able to execute their plans for the development of Pakistan. In fact, they were more focused on keeping the power by pleasing the people than actually developing the economy. And a classic example of the same is the petrol subsidy in Pakistan. Did you guys know, as of 14th of May 2022, the government of Pakistan was providing a subsidy of 31 rupees per litre on petrol, 73 rupees per litre on diesel, and a subsidy of 5 rupees per unit on electricity. And the reason was obviously to curb inflation so that the common man does not suffer. In short, to give the common man an illusion that the economy was in control so that the party could remain in power. By the way, this was the case both with Imran Khan and Shehbaz Sharif. So again, because of this, 3 terrible things happened to Pakistan's economy. Number 1, since the government was selling oil in loss, the government was losing billions of dollars in just oil subsidies. Secondly, their forex reserves were depleting very, very fast. And thirdly, when they approached IMF for a bailout, IMF told them, dude, if you're a poor country, why are you giving out oil subsidies? You should first make money for yourself and then approach us, right? So get rid of your oil subsidies first. So guess what? In order to secure IMF funding, the government of Pakistan suddenly started cutting down on these subsidies. As a result, the petrol prices skyrocketed. And if you look at this graph, you will see that the cost of subsidized petrol itself rose by 38% due to Russia-Ukraine war and other factors. And then, after the Pakistani government removed these subsidies, the price of petrol skyrocketed from 150 rupees per litre to 234 rupees per litre in just 20 days. As a result, inflation obviously shot up and the country went into an even deeper economic mess. This is a second fundamental problem with the political system of Pakistan, which is short-sightedness and more focus on power and people-pleasing policies than the actual development of the country. And lastly, with such an unstable government and such short-term development plans, obviously, very few investors were willing to bet their money in Pakistan. And if you look at the numbers, you will see that while Pakistan's maximum foreign direct investment stood at $5.6 billion, in India, Maharashtra alone, which is half the size of Pakistan both in terms of land and population, Maharashtra alone saw almost $18 billion in FDI this year, which is almost 9 times more than Pakistan's current FDI inflow. So if this is very, very clear to you, let's come to the recent developments in Pakistan, starting from Imran Khan.
Imran Khan has begun to pull hundreds of thousands to his rallies.
इंशाल्लाह हम इस मुल्क में पैसा इकट्ठा करेंगे, अपने पैर पे भी खड़ा करेंगे और गुलामी से, अमेरिका की गुलामी से आपको आजाद बन के दिखाएंगे.
He's promised a revolution in Pakistan, a tsunami.
आप सबको बलवाल में सुनामी मुबारक हो.
To tell you about it, Imran Khan started a party in 1996 called PTI or Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, which means Movement for Justice. And after 22 years in Pakistani politics, finally in 2018, he became the Prime Minister of Pakistan. But then, even Imran Khan's party members didn't support him and he lost the no confidence vote. This is how Shehbaz Sharif became the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So now, he will be able to hold power until October 2023 when the next election is due to be held. But this is where Imran Khan's speeches started a chaos in Pakistan.
ये दोनों जरदारी और नवाज शरीफ ये अपना आर्मी चीफ लाना चाहते हैं क्योंकि पैसा इन्होंने चोरी किया हुआ है.
Pakistan's Election Commission has disqualified former Prime Minister Imran Khan from holding political office for 5 years.
कि हम समझते हैं कि अगर हमें अपनी गवर्नमेंट्स भी कुर्बान करनी पड़े इस मुल्क के अंदर जब तक इलेक्शंस नहीं होंगे, साफ और शफाफ इलेक्शंस नहीं होंगे, हम सबको आज खौफ है कि मुल्क डूब रहा है.
In his speeches, he blamed the army, accused the government and even spoke of corruption and collusion with foreign powers. But the fun fact is that this is true but nothing new to Pakistan, even for Imran Khan's own ministers. But these speeches created such an impact on Pakistani people that Pakistan's electronic media announced a ban on the live airing of Imran Khan's speeches, and this was because of his extreme criticism of the army. Then, the Election Commission barred him from contesting elections or holding public office for 5 years. And this is where the protests started catching fire. This is when on 25th of October 2022, Imran Khan called his supporters to join the largest long march in country's history from the eastern city of Lahore to Islamabad. And this was to demand early elections in Pakistan. And just 1.5 weeks later, hell broke loose in Punjab and Imran Khan was shot.
It was a march for change, billed as a do or die moment. Led by a former cricketer and Prime Minister vying for a political comeback. That is, until this.
One of Pakistan's most popular and influential politicians, Imran Khan, has survived a gun attack on his protest march. The 70-year-old, who was ousted as Prime Minister in April, was giving a speech in Wazirabad when the gunman opened fire.
And immediately after this happened, the support for Imran Khan increased by a large extent, and the protest clearly showed how much power Imran Khan possesses in Pakistan. And you know what the worst part about the shooting is? Nobody really knows who exactly was behind this shooting. In fact, even for 2 other prime ministers who had been assassinated in Pakistan, nobody knows till date who exactly got them killed. This is how messed up Pakistan's security forces are. So, as you can see, if the security force of Pakistan could not investigate the shooting of a former prime minister, how on earth would they investigate the crimes on the ordinary people? And how would they ensure the security of the industries for which the foreign investors would pump in money? So this is a black spot not just on the politics but also on the security of Pakistan. And while the entire nation and the world were focused on the political turmoil of Pakistan, something even more crazy was happening in the exact same country. And they were the floods in Pakistan.
Let's turn to Pakistan now, where there are now fears of acute food shortages after the series of devastating floods have led to just over 1,200 deaths.
The deadly floods submerged a third of Pakistan. Farmers in affected regions don't know how they will feed their livestock.
In other parts of Dadu, families who've lost their homes are sleeping on the roadside. Some do not even have tents, let alone food.
Pakistan's climate change minister said the floods have destroyed 45% of Pakistan's croplands.
Now, just to give you an idea about how bad these floods were, I want you to have a look at this map. This is a photo taken in August 2021 and this is the one taken in 2022 during the floods. You see, almost 1/3 of the entire Pakistan was underwater. And these floods have been so bad that in just 4 months, they ended up killing 1,350 people, 900,000 livestock, washed away 1 million houses, breached 40 reservoirs, collapsed 220 bridges, and costed the economy $10 billion and displaced 50 million people. That is almost 25% of the entire country's population. And again, this led to shortage in grains, poverty, and economic slowdown. Now, how Pakistan is going to recover in spite of the political and economic turmoil and in spite of corruption, only God knows. And this is what brings us to the last part of Pakistan's challenge, which is internal separatist movement and their external conflict with Taliban. You see, this is the Balochistan province in Pakistan. It is located in Afghanistan's southwest corner. It's surrounded by Iran on the west, Punjab and Sindh on the east, Pakhtunkhwa on the north, and the Arabian Sea on the south. And the reason why this region is extremely important to Pakistan is because it is said to have over $1 trillion worth of natural resources in the form of gold, copper, black pearl, oil, valuable stones, coal, chromite, and natural gas. On top of that, Balochistan also has an oceanic coastline that stretches along with one of the world's most important shipping routes called the Strait of Hormuz. But in spite of extracting a lot of resources out of Balochistan, the separatist group claim that Pakistan has never paid attention to the people of Balochistan. And if you look at the numbers, they do seem to be true. If you look at the literacy rates of states in Pakistan, you will see that while Punjab led all other provinces with a 64% literacy rate, Sindh stood at 57%, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa stood at 55%, whereas Balochistan stood at just 40%. Similarly, while Sindh halved its poverty from 2001 to 2015, you will see that Balochistan by 2015 had by far the highest poverty rate at 42.2%, which was twice as high as Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And now in some articles it says that the poverty rate is above 50%. So the separatists believe that it is because Pakistani government only wants Balochistan's resources but doesn't care about its people. So they want their own state and want to use their own resources and sea routes to build their economy to support themselves. Now I don't know if this is right, wrong, smart or not, but as the economic crisis of Pakistan is worsening, the separatist movement in Balochistan is gaining more and more momentum. And this has been happening rapidly over the past 50 freaking years. So this is yet another threat to Pakistan. And lastly, we have Pakistan's conflict with Afghanistan, which is another external conflict. Now this is already information overload, so let's not get into that as of now. But if you love these kind of case studies, please drop a comment and I'll make a detailed video both on Balochistan and the Afghan-Pakistan conflict. So in short, the government and army of Pakistan is sinking in corruption. The former prime minister being shot has already triggered a sense of insecurity in the country. The people-pleasing subsidies are now causing inflation and forex depletion. China's debt trap is already taking away their money. They've already faced one of the worst floods in their history. And then there is an internal conflict with Balochistan and an external conflict with Taliban in Afghanistan. This is the history, root cause, conflicts and tragedies of Pakistan. And this brings us to the most important part of the episode, and that are the lessons that we need to learn from the downfall and the mistakes of Pakistan. But before we move on, let me thank our partners of this episode, and that is Coding Invaders. People, the international markets have been free falling in the last few weeks, and in conditions like these, there is a very high possibility of a job crisis. In fact, the job crisis have already started in the US. But that's where Coding Invaders come in. They help you switch from non-IT profession to IT for high-paying jobs within 6 to 8 months as a data analyst. Their current placement stats stand at 93%, and the best part is that before you enroll for the course, they provide you with a job guarantee agreement with a money-back guarantee. So basically, if you do not get placed, you will get a 100% refund. Their courses have real-life business case studies, job-oriented projects and assignments designed by industry experts from companies like Amazon, Philips, Deloitte and others. In fact, even a civil engineer like me with a non-IT background will be able to learn data science and be eligible for high-paying IT jobs such as a data analyst. So you don't need a coding background to get into such high-paying jobs. Coding Invaders have helped 20,000 plus candidates secure 10 to 25 lakh per annum packages in the past 6.5 months with the help of their 300 plus hiring partners. So this Christmas, you can choose to invest in yourself rather than the markets. And use the code TS36 to get a 36% off in the job guarantee batch. Moving on to the lessons, the first thing we need to learn from Pakistan is that every scandal revealed, every scam revealed is a black spot on the system of our country. In case of Pakistan, we clearly saw how the cases of corruption have destroyed the faith of both the people and investors. In our case, whether that is the Nirav Modi scam, the ABG shipyard scam or the 2G scam, each one of them state a critical vulnerability of our system and we should not take them lightly. So if we raise our voices and make the government feel the cost of these scams, automatically even they will feel the heat to fix it. Secondly, there are policies that are meant for the growth of our country and there are policies meant to consolidate power and please people like you and me. In case of Pakistan, the oil subsidy was clearly a people-pleasing policy. In case of India, it is a pension scheme and freebie politics that is right now happening in India. And we the people of democracy need to keep a check on our politicians such that they work for the long-term growth of our economy and not for the short-term pleasures of our people. And thirdly, just like Pakistan is ignoring Balochistan, we have ignored the northeastern states for a very, very long time. And just like the people of Balochistan are tired and frustrated, it won't be long when the 7 sisters of India would be in the same state. So we need to push our government to give equal importance to every single state in India so that all the Indians from all across the country, regardless of the state they belong to, witness development and growth in their life. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button in order to make YouTube Baba happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.